And so, like, this major moment that happened, on the bus ride home, like, this is super major. Like, it was a mixture between, being jealous and, trying to, like, show off my true funny side. And, like, just like what my mom says, like, I was basically alone at the trip. I remember, like, I was pretending to be asleep. Like, I was pretending to be asleep during the entire trip, except it was, like, in this real position where I was just, like, like, laying down, like, with my arms dangling. Like, can you, like, see this? Like, okay, like, it was like this, like, my legs were down, my arms were dangling, like, I would pretend to be asleep in, like, this real position of, like, just imagine my butt in the seat, and, my arms were dangling, my head was down like this. Like, so I was pretending to be asleep back then. And when they noticed me in, like, that real position, again, I was fake sleeping just to, hear everything. That's when, I heard, the girls, like, again, like, they were referring me to the third person, like, I couldn't hear them. Like, I remember them asking my sister, does she always sleep like that? And, my sister was just like, no. And, yeah, I can feel them. Like, they probably don't know that I was faking asleep the entire time. And so, again, like, I can feel them poking me everywhere on my back, and, like, I could feel them poking me, like, Brittany, wake up, Brittany, wake up, Brittany, wake up, or something like that. Oh my god, I love you, my belly girl voice. I don't know. I mean, they don't actually sound like that, but, I like to pick it. Okay, I'm being too extra. And so, yeah, sorry for my belly girl voice. Oh my gosh, I use this more often, even though sometimes I do, but sometimes I don't. Okay, back to the story. So, yeah, I can feel them, like, poking me, and, like, once this was all over, then, like, I could still hear them, talking behind my back about stuff, and my sister still doesn't do anything about it, which, like, I really don't want her to get in trouble, because, like, now I'll explain this at the end, where she actually does something, but, it's something that, again, I don't blame her, and, like, if my parents are watching this, then please don't get her in trouble for this, because, like, I'll explain this, like, since, what she does at the end, like, this is not her fault. Like, I would have done the same thing, but, okay, back to the story, like, we'll explain all that later. I can still feel them, tapping me and talking behind my back and all that stuff. I forgot what they were saying at times, but, like, they were just, and, like, I'm starting to, like, have enough of this. Like, every time they, talk behind my back or start poking me and all that stuff. Like, I started to, like, have enough. Like, the anger was building inside of me as, heard them talking behind my back. And, like, just the anger just, infuriated me. Like, it was going, like, like, I can feel it inside my system that, like, I had enough of these girls. Like, my friends, they were just talking behind my back. Yeah, those are my new friends that I made, and, like, just the anger was building inside me. Like, I could feel it. Like, the stamina was like, whoo. And so, I can never forget this moment. Like, every single word I said to them. I can still, hear them laughing and all that stuff. And so, like, once I had enough of all this, I just imagine, like, the entire bus, just the anger just getting out. Like, everyone heard it. So, I'm gonna, like, mimic this entire scene, since I can never forget about this. So, like, I was still, pretending to be asleep and stuff. And so, like, once I had enough, I just, like, once the anger just, whoop, and then I just, like, got up, and then I screamed, and I remembered every single word. Like, I just, like, once I heard enough, I was just like, can you please stop bullying me? I said that. and the entire bus was quiet. Like, I said that entire line. And it also sounded like pretty shaky and crying as well. Like, can you please stop bullying me? Like, I yelled at them, and the entire bus went silent. Like, my voice sounded so heartbroken. And like after like the whole bus was silent, and I just didn't know what to do. Like the whole bus was silent, and I just busted out crying at the end. My voice was also like pretty cracky and like again like pretty scratchy as well, since like it was cracky and scratchy since again like my voice just sounded so heartbroken, and like a seconds of the silence of the bus, like the whole bus just went silent. I just busted out crying because I did not know what to do. Like these people were supposed to be my friends, and I just busted out crying. And so, like, of course, the teacher notices and, came up to, like, us and, asked, like, what's going on and all that stuff. And so, like, one of the girls made up this, this stupid excuse. Like, it was so stupid. But the teacher believed it anyways. I do not know why, but again, probably because I'm autistic. And so one of the girls, made up this excuse like, oh, she's just mad that we forgot her blanket. And I didn't say anything since I was just too busy being heartbroken and crying. And like the teacher believed it, that, I was crying all because, like, oh, she's mad just because we forgot her blanket. Like, what kind of stupid excuse is that? And again, the teacher believed what she said since I didn't feel like saying anything at all. And so that's when the teacher turned to my sister and again, like, please do not get her in trouble for doing this. Like, I would have done the same thing if I had, a little autistic sister who I barely talk to. Like, I would have done the same thing, trust me, so please don't get her in trouble. I don't know if they set this entire thing up or mainly because, like, the teachers were ableist as well, just like the girls. And so that's when, like, one of the teachers, turned to my sister and, again, like, referred me to the third person, like, why did they just ask me why I was crying? Like, they could have just asked me instead of asking, like, these circles of, like, they could have just asked me, but no, they decided to just ask the girls and then turn to my sister. Like, seriously, they could have just asked me! I was the one who freaking yelled at them and then just started crying, like, why didn't they just ask me? And so the teacher, like, she had like this really panicking voice in her, like she had this panic in her voice, and like I can remember that sound she had. Like, I mean, I forgot what she actually said. I mean, I'm only saying, like what, the words she somewhat says, just to get the point. But, she asked my sister, what do we do when she feels this way or something like that. I forgot exactly what she said, but like I remember what my sister said, but I did not remember what the teacher said. But she just asked, what do we do to make her stop, or what do we do to calm her down, or something like that. Again, don't refer me to the third person. Like, I can hear you, and I'm a normal person. Like, I'm a person just like you. And so that's when my sister says, she usually likes to be alone. Like, I remember her saying that, and so I guess, with that, I mean, like, I'm not gonna blame her. Like, if I had an autistic little sister who I barely talk to, then I would have done the same thing, She used to like to be alone. Like, she was just a total bystander. But, again, I don't blame her, and please do not get her in trouble since, like, I would have done the same thing. So, do not get her in trouble. Trust me. Like, please. I guess because of, what my sister said, like, for the entire rest of the end of the trip, I had to sit next to the teacher for like the entire end of the trip. Like because of that, like I got moved over to like sit next to the teacher for the entire end of the trip, the entire bus, so I had to sit next to the teacher instead of, with my friends and my sister who betrayed me. Just kidding. Like I'm not trying to get her in trouble. But she was a bystander, and I would have done the same thing, to be honest.